Hey everybody, Siobhan, Carey here. I'm excited to take you through Wake Up Your Spine. We will work through different movements of the spine to energize and mobilize your entire body. I'm incorporating some side stretches, twists, and back bends, so you'll be open on all sides and ready for everything. Okay, let's get started. Grab your one block and use that to support a bridge pose here. Come all the way down to the floor on your back. Bend your knees and place both of your feet on the ground. Begin to lift up your hips a little bit and bring that block just right underneath your low back. The block can be at its lowest height, the medium height, or if you're feeling really open, then you can bring it to its highest height. Let the arms rest alongside your body. Fingers towards your heels. And let's just take a couple deep breaths right here, allowing the block to begin to open up the front of your body, your spine. Deep breath in and a long breath out. Begin to reach your arms up and over your head towards the back of your mat. Let's just take 2 deep breaths right here. Close off your lips and breathe in and out through your nose. Bring your arms back alongside your body and really press down through your feet so you can lift your hips up away from that block. Slide the block out from underneath your body and release your seat and your low back all the way down to the ground. Reach your arms open to a T on either side of your mat and windshield wiper your legs, your knees right to left a few times. And take it pretty slow side to side. Just move through that about 2 more times on either side. Begin to draw your knees in towards your chest and rock a couple times forwards and backwards all the way on up to a seat. Create a little momentum there and cross the shins and just sit in a cross-legged position at the top of your mat. Walk your right hand on over to the right side and stretch your left arm up and over your left ear. Take a big side stretch. Keep the left sit bone on the ground, heavy on that left side of your seat. A couple deep breaths into the left side of your waist. Begin to fold forward and down over the right front knee, reaching your arms on a diagonal towards the upper right corner of your mat or whatever space that you're in today. Keep reaching the left sit bone back and down. Just take a nice forward fold here. Allow your chin to even fall in towards your chest. Rise back up to a tall seat and stretch your left hand all the way over to the left side of the room. Begin to reach your right arm up and over your right ear. Finding that same side stretch just on side 2. Deep breath in to the right side of the ribs. Even feel them inflate. Get a little bit more open. And take the forward fold over your left front knee, reaching the arms on a diagonal to the upper left corner of your room. Crawl both of your hands out in front of you, just a forward fold to the middle. Stretch your hips backwards in space. Breathe a deep breath into the backside of your ribs. Exhale, fold forward and down. Walk the hands back in towards your body and make your way into a downward facing dog from there. So tuck your feet back behind you, plant your hands at the top of your mat, lift your hips up and back. In this first downward facing dog, take a generous bend in both of the knees and really try and work your seat up and back. And then as you open up the backs of the legs a little bit more, you can straighten them out more and more. On your next inhale, come forward to high plank pose. Let the shoulders come over your wrists and press your heels back in space. Really draw your low belly in and up. Take one more deep breath in. Exhale and lower your knees down to the ground. Just come to a tabletop position. Shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees. From there, take an inhale and come to a cow pose, letting the chin lift away from your chest, the shoulders drop down your back. Exhale, chin in towards the chest for a cat pose. Tuck your toes under, downward facing dog, lifting the hips up and back. Start to create a really deep connection with your breath here, using it through this next sequence of poses. Take a breath in and come forward, high plank once again. Exhale, lower knees to the ground, come to a tabletop position. Take a breath into a cow pose, lift the chin, a little arch. Exhale, curl in, round the upper back, downward facing dog, lift the hips up and back, tucking the toes. Last time through, deep breath in. And a long breath out. Inhale forward to high plank. Exhale, lower the knees to the floor. Inhale to a cow pose, pull the heart forward. Exhale, chin in, round in, downward facing dog. Lift the hips up and back. Inhale. Exhale all the way out to the bottom. Bend your knees, jump, step, or walk to the top of your space. Halfway lift at the front there. Exhale, fold forward and down. Inhale and rise all the way up to a standing position. Reach and lift your arms up and over your head. Grab hold of your left wrist with your right hand. Take a big breath in through the middle and exhale, lean on over to the right side. Inhale, come back through the center, switch out the grip, and exhale, lean on over to the left. Nice stretch on the right side of the body. Inhale, rise back up through the center. Exhale, fold forward and down to the floor. Halfway lift up, take a breath. High plank pose, walk the feet to the back of your mat. Pause at the top of your plank for one deep breath in. Exhale and lower Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog, cobra pose, or a backbend of your choice. Downward facing dog, lift your hips up and back. We'll just continue to move through 2 more sun salutation A's like that. Taking a couple breaths just in down dog in between. One more breath in stillness. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale and rise to your toes. Exhale, bend your knees. Jump or step all the way forward. Halfway lift up, deep breath in. Fold forward, empty out. Inhale all the way up to standing. Reach and lift your arms. This time, just an open arm twist to the right side of the room, stretching the right arm to the back, left arm forward. Inhale, back up through the center. Exhale, over to the other side. Open up. Inhale, reach up, stretch up. Exhale, fold forward and down over your legs. Halfway lift up, breathe in. High plank pose to Chaturanga Dandasana. If you're working any jumping back, floating back, feel free to incorporate that in these sun salutation A's. Meeting in downward facing dog right here. Take 2 breaths in stillness. Really work the heels back and down. Strong arms here, pressing the ground away underneath your hands. One more deep breath in. Empty it out. Inhale and lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees. Look forward, jump or step to the top. Halfway lift, full breath in, and fold forward, empty out. Inhale all the way up to standing. Reach high to the sky. Cactus the arms up there. Bend your elbows. A tiny back bend standing. Little lift of the chin even. Inhale, reach the arms back up. And slow, careful fold forward and down to the floor. Halfway lift, really lengthen the spine. High plank to Chaturanga Dandasana. Stay strong here. Inhale, upward facing dog, shoulders back. Downward facing dog, exhale. Good work, you guys. Walk your feet a little closer together at the back of your mat. And inhale, reach your right leg all the way up towards the ceiling. bend your right knee and lift your right hip. So getting that right hip just to lift above the left hip. Make sure that left heel is not swaying too far over to the left. And square back off, straighten your right leg out nice and long. Take a deep breath in and step your right foot forward between your hands. Lower the back left knee down, Anjaneyasana lunge. Lift and stretch your arms all the way up towards the ceiling. Now bring awareness to where your block is in space and just bring it over to the right side outside of your right hip. So make sure it's not next to the knee, it's more next to your hip there. Stretch the arms back up towards the ceiling. Take a deep breath in. Exhale and lower the right hand over to the block on the right side and reach that left arm up and over your left ear, finding a nice stretch on the left side of the waist. Feel the length all the way from the left hip bone to the left ribs. Take a deep breath into that space. Exhale, prayer twist. Hook your left elbow outside of your right knee and come back to that length in the left side of your body. Really try and open up that space once again. Take a couple rounds of breath, using the breath to open, stabilize. Inhale to lengthen out. Exhale to turn your heart up towards your thumbs. Good job. Next breath in, reach the arms back up towards the ceiling, face towards the front of your mat. Exhale, lower your hands to the ground and step your left foot forward to meet your right at the top of your mat. Halfway lift up and take a breath in, fold forward and empty out. Utkatasana, chair pose, bend your knees, reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Hold here, just a couple breaths, placing the weight more in your heels, maybe so much so that you can begin to lift your 10 toes and spread them apart from one another in the air. Then place them down one toe at a time. Now interlace your fingers in this chair pose with your lower back. Take a breath in to broaden your chest. Exhale, fold forward and down, straighten the legs out a little bit more, not locking out the knees, just a tiny, tiny bend behind them. And then lift that bind up away from your low back. You're going to reach it towards the front of the room. If your feet separated at all in that chair pose or this forward fold, walk them back in towards each other and revisit your chair. So just bend the knees, reach your arms up towards the sky, take a deep breath in, not there for too long. So go just a little bit lower and fold forward and down, straighten the legs back out. Halfway lift, inhale. Big step back with your left foot. Find warrior one pose here. So widen the stance a little right to left, scooching that right foot over to the right edge. Deep bend in the right front knee. Reach your arms all the way up towards the ceiling. Try to steer your right hip backwards in space and guide the left hip forward. One more deep breath in through your nose. Open up warrior two, exhale. The arms lengthen out, front to back. Soften the shoulders down your back body. Even tone the muscles around your arm bones, feeling some strength as you reach out long. Keep the left arm where it is. Flip your right palm up towards the ceiling and reverse your warrior, grabbing hold of that right wrist up above your head. So you got a nice kind of open side body stretch as you take a reverse warrior. Keep steering your right knee towards the front of your mat. And take one more deep breath in to that long right side. Exhale into extended side angle. Extended side angle, you can have your forearm down on your thigh. You can reach your hand to a block or the ground. And we'll take that left arm up and over your left ear today, really opening up the left side of the waist. Think of your left arm as an extension of that space, reaching long all the way out through your left middle finger. At the same time, ground down through the outside edge of the left back foot. Place your left hand just on top of your left hip and look towards your right foot. Ardha Chandrasana half moon. So shift the weight forward into that right front foot. Begin to lift your back left leg up to just hip height. Flex your toes in that left lifted leg and reach the left arm up towards the ceiling. There's always an option to grab a block underneath that right bottom hand to bring the floor to you. Take one more deep breath in here. Empty it out. Step back and down, warrior two pose. Find the feet on the ground. Root down, ground down. Feel stable and strong in the legs. Flip your right palm up, reverse your warrior, deep breath in. And bring your hands down to the ground at the top of your mat. High plank, right foot steps back to meet the left. Lower Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift the hips up and back. Spread your fingers out wide in this down dog. Ground down through the index finger and your thumb. We'll just get ready for the other side here. So walk your feet a little closer in at the back of your space. Lift and stretch your left leg up towards the sky. Deep breath in. Bend your left knee and lift your left hip. Really press the ground away underneath your hands. And square off, straighten that left leg out nice and long. Take a deep breath in. Step the left foot forward between your hands and lower your back right knee down to the ground. Reach your arms up towards the ceiling for that Asana lunge here. I'll grab your block and place it over to the left, the outside of your left hip. Reach the arms back up towards the sky. Deep breath in at the middle here. Exhale, lower the left hand to that block alongside your left hip and reach your right arm long over your right ear. Might feel good to back off of the lunge just a little bit here to really work into the side stretch first. And if it feels okay, you can allow your hips to lower closer towards the ground. Take one more breath in. Exhale, prayer twist. Hook your right elbow outside of your left thigh. Revisit the right side of your waist. Take a deep breath in and lengthen that space out. Exhale and turn your heart, your sternum up towards your thumbs. And find a little hint of a back bend here, broadening across the collarbones. One more breath in. Exhale and lower the hands to the ground. Right foot steps forward to meet your left at the top of your mat. Halfway lift and lengthen. Fold forward and down, exhale. Utkatasana, chair pose. Bend your knees. Reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Remember, weight in the heels. Try to work your inner thighs in towards each other and sit your seat back and down, upper arms in line with your ears. And interlace your hands back behind you. First, get the opening across the chest. Deep breath in. Exhale, fold forward and down. Let those legs release. You can separate them a little bit wider here. And play with the weight in your feet, shifting it a little bit farther forward into the balls of your feet, maybe your toes even. Just explore, dive into the sensation in the backs of your legs. Walk the feet back in together and bend your knees, chair pose just for one deep breath in. You got it. Exhale, fold forward and down, right over the legs. Halfway lift, inhale. Right foot steps all the way back, warrior one. So widen the stance right to left, giving the right hip some space to face forward and the left hip space to shift backwards. Really ground down through both of the feet. One more deep breath in. Open up to warrior two, stretching the arms. Guide the shoulders down your back body and draw your left knee just slightly on over to the left. Now keep that right back arm where it is and flip your left palm up. Grab hold of your left wrist up above your head and take that reverse warrior, opening up the left side body. Keep steering the left knee forward. Maybe even go just a little bit deeper into that front knee. And one more deep breath in. Extended side angle, placing the forearm down on the thigh, hand down to the ground, or even using your block underneath that bottom hand. Take your right arm up and over your right ear. Towards the front of the room. Begin to bring your right hand just on top of your right hip. Look down towards your left front foot. Shift the weight forward, Ardha Chandrasana half moon pose here. So we'll balance on that front foot. Lift your back right leg up. Now, even that leg that's up in the air, really try and firm up the muscles in that top leg, flexing your toes, lifting your kneecap up towards your hip, and reach your right arm up towards the ceiling, opening up towards the sky. Draw your low belly in and up so you can land lightly back into warrior two. Big step back with the right foot. Flip your left palm up, reverse your warrior, breathe in. And bring your hands down to the ground at the top of your mat. Left foot steps back to meet the right. Chaturanga Dandasana. Bend the elbows and inhale, upward facing dog. Beautiful, you guys. Downward facing dog. Lift the hips up and back. Take a deep, deep breath in through your nose. Maybe empty out through the mouth. Inhale and lift your heels up high here. Exhale, bend your knees. Jump or step forward to the top of your space. Halfway lift, full breath in. Fold forward, empty out. Inhale, come all the way on up to standing. Reach and lift your arms up towards the ceiling. And exhale, fold forward and down to the floor. Halfway lift, inhale, big step back with your left foot and walk your right foot all the way on over to the right edge of your mat. Pivot the right toes just slightly out to the right, almost on like a 45-degree angle, and lower your back left knee down to the ground. Place your forearms down to either your block or the floor inside that right front foot. We'll just get a little opening on the outer right hip here. Quick alignment check. Make sure your right knee is tracking in line with your toes. Just moving in that same general direction. There are a couple options to deepen this stretch. Placing your right hand on top of your right thigh and just widening it over to the right. Now, if you've come down onto your forearms at all, lift back up onto the palms. Start to bend your left back knee and reach your right hand for the outside edge of that back foot, taking a quad stretch on the back leg. Ready to bring the left heel in towards your seat. Breathe some deep breaths into the front of your left thigh. Opening up that big part of your body. Slowly, slowly, with some control, allow that back leg to lengthen out long once again. High plank pose, step your right foot back to meet your left foot and lower down onto your forearms for forearm plank. So both forearms on the ground, parallel with one another. Begin to walk your feet in closer towards your elbows for a dolphin pose here. This might be a lot on the hamstrings, so feel free to have a little bend in the knees here. A couple deep breaths, allowing this posture to open up the upper body, the lower body. Just take one more deep round of breath in. Slowly lower your knees all the way on down to the ground. Take a child's pose from there, allowing the hips to go down towards your heels. And in this child's pose, reach your arms alongside your shins, hands towards your feet. Let the shoulders melt apart from one another on your upper back. Let your forehead just press straight into the ground. Bring your hands to the ground out in front of you, downward facing dog. We'll just move from the back of our mat on this side. So lift and stretch your left leg up towards the ceiling. Take a breath and step the left foot forward outside of your left hand. Lower your back right knee down to the ground. Make sure that left foot is all the way over on the left side. Pivot the left toes just slightly out to the left. And lower down to forearms on blocks or the floor inside that left foot. You can use the left hand to widen your left thigh bone over to the left, and even like a little twist of the body that direction there. If you took the quad stretch on the first side, you're going to make your way into that here. So bend your right back knee, and with your left hand, grab for the outside edge of the back foot. Bring the heel close into the seat and your seat even back towards your heel to really maximize that stretch on the front of your right thigh bone. Slowly allow that back leg to go long once again and come to downward facing dog from there. So step the left foot back to meet your right foot. Look to the front of your mat and walk your feet all the way forward to your hands. Come to just the front of your space. Take a halfway lift, lengthen the spine out, fold forward and down, exhale, and roll all the way on down to your back. We'll come to the mat from here. Place both of your feet on the floor about hips width distance. Arms reach alongside your body, revisiting a bridge pose from the very beginning of class, taking it pretty actively this time. So press down through the feet, lift your hips up. Maybe bind the hands at your low back and press that bind right into the ground, allowing your upper back to lift up off the floor as you squeeze the shoulders in together. To find some lightness here. One more deep breath in. Exhale, slowly lower the seat down to the ground, your low back, your middle back, everything on down to the floor. The knees knock in towards one another. So a little teepee in the legs for one breath in. I'm going to empty that breath out. Set up for one more back bend here together. So if you're ready for Urdhva Dhanurasana, full bridge pose, full wheel pose, you can bring your hands alongside your ears and press up first onto the top of your head and walk your hands a little closer in towards your feet. Draw your elbows close in towards one another. Shoulders down your back and press into the hands as you straighten the arms out and lift all the way up. Bridge pose, you'll just stick with the arms alongside the body, lift the hips up, really press down through the feet, even like the big toe ball mound. Wherever you are, take 2 more rounds of breath in. Last big push here, stay strong. Energize yourself from the inside out. One more breath in. Slowly, carefully lower all the way on down to the floor. Stretch your arms open side to side. Knees stay bent and windshield wiper the knees side to side. Neutralize the spine with a couple twists right to left. Bring the knees through the center here. Draw them in towards your chest. Take a couple rocks forwards and backwards. Come all the way up to a seat and stretch your legs long out in front of you, setting up for a seated forward fold here. The knees can definitely be bent in this position. Want a little tip of your pelvis forward. So if that requires a bend in the knees, just give that space to your body. Reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, fold forward and down, reaching for something out in front of you. Maybe grabbing for your outer shins, your ankles, maybe all the way to the feet. You can even stack that block underneath your feet and wrap the hands around that as well. Inhale, lengthen the heart towards your feet. Exhale, fold forward and down 1 inch deeper. Inhale, lift back up to a tall seat. Exhale and roll all the way on down to your back. The whole body relax here on the floor. Open up the arms, spread the legs, and start to close down your eyes. Rest here in your Shavasana, and I will guide you out shortly. Start to bring movement back into your body. Wiggle out your fingers and your toes and reach your arms up and over your head. Really long and strong. Big body stretch. Big inhale. Exhale and roll gently on over to one side. Take a moment here to appreciate coming to your mat, making time for your practice, for yourself, so you are better able to be there for everything else. Come all the way on up to a seat, something comfortable so you can sit up nice and tall. Bring your hands into your heart center. And we'll just close out our practice today with one Om. Empty out whatever breath you have. Take a deep breath in with me. Lift your thumbs right on up to your forehead, and from my heart to yours, namaste.